Jason Robertson is out there with a tampon shoved in each nostril for the last shift of the game. He only missed one shift after being cross checked in the face. They gave the other guy a high sticking, but he got cross checked in the face by Ryan Strome in the overtime, bleeding, right? He goes off into the tunnel entrance area, gets the cotton shoved up his nose, and like a true playoff ready Dallas star, he is back on the ice within a minute or two. Love it. That's the kind of hockey that we want to see out of this Dallas Stars team, and especially somebody like Jason Robertson, who you don't usually think of as a gritty player like that. But I guess we're learning a little bit more about Jason Robertson each day. And remember, this is the guy that started the big fracas with the Jets over reverse hitting someone into the to the shadow realm. And so I'll tell you what, I it's never that I've not been a fan of Jason Robertson, but I haven't looked at him quite the way that I've looked at him in the last stretch of games where this guy, he's developing a little bit of sandpaper to his game, a little bit of warrior there. I love it. I absolutely love it. And he ended up getting an assist on that last goal. So, love that stuff. The Stars with a big win in overtime, 4-3. We get three unanswered goals. We have more questions than answers coming out of this game. One being, is Arttu Hyry making Oscar Beck specifically expendable? And why do I talk about Oscar Beck and not players that like a Bastion or a Blackwell, for instance, Adam Ernie, right? Well, they're in a little different roles than Beck and Hyry are, or Oscar Beck and Hyry, because those are more physical energy players. Blackwell has that speed. You saw what he did in backing up Robo after they went after his knees for the reverse hit that I just mentioned against the Winnipeg Jets. So a little bit different role, right? So Hyry's playing center. Oscar Beck plays center a lot as well. His points per game are higher than Oscar Beck's. He's a right shot versus a left shot, which, just like on defense, it's a rarer commodity to have. It gives you some different options. And he's 1 year younger than Oscar Beck. Gotta like that shot that he has in comparison to Oscar Beck. And this is not a slight against Oscar Beck. I like what Oscar Beck brings. But if there's one player that would be looking over their shoulder when it comes to a player like Arttu Hyry, who has made a great impact in the last 15 plus games that he's been here, it's got to be Oscar Beck in my eyes at this point. So, Hyry, great night. 11-3 on the dot. That's good for 79%. The Dallas Stars as a whole were good. We were 62% on the dot. Hyry had some great individual plays. Defensive zone PK win, face-off wins. He had a nice play on the penalty kill where he intercepted a pass and got the clear. And these are the kind of things that he does on a regular basis since he's come into this Dallas Stars lineup. What a pleasant surprise he has been, and we'll have to see if he's here to stay this year versus next year. I think next year he's in one way or another, but the question is, will he bump someone this year? The other storyline I like is when you look at the standings and you're looking to put the screws to the Colorado Avalanche and have them on equal playing field with the Dallas Stars, who have the nightmare matchup against the Minnesota Wild. Wouldn't it be great if the President's Trophy from winner of last year, the Winnipeg Jets, play the President's Trophy winner of this year, the Colorado Avalanche, in the first round? And it just might happen. It's a little bit of a long shot, right? If you look at the standings, 4 points out of the wild card 2 spot with one game in hand. Okay, so they can catch the Nashville Predators. Their schedule is a little bit harder than who I think is the most likely to make that wild card 2, which is LA Kings. Their schedule is a little bit harder. They play St. Louis, Philadelphia, Vegas, Utah, and San Jose. Winnipeg does. Versus the LA Kings, they play Vancouver twice, Seattle, Calgary, and Edmonton. Much easier scheduled. So, but wouldn't that be great? Then we all have a good 6 or 7 game series off of Jump Street before playing each other in the division final. I love it. I love that scenario. Let's see if it happens. Come on, Jets, let's go. And then the other questions I have, um, are the Stars through with their skid? The Calgary Flames, you can't say that this is a team that is a top caliber team that should be taking you to overtime. I don't think that the Stars can be declared out of their skid yet. We've lost 3 of our last 5, um, and losses to Philadelphia, Boston, Colorado. Wins against Winnipeg. That was the big one. That was your great win that you had, but then you lost to the Avs. Understandable, best team in hockey in the regular season, and then you barely beat the Flames, who, I mean, this is a team. If you look, they had 2 41-point getters who led their team, which is the worst in the NHL in that regard. Pop gun offense. Um, they had. They had 72 points coming in, 73 points coming out of it, 30th in the league when they came into the game against the Dallas Stars. Their offense is ranked 30th in the league. Their top goal scorer has 21, which is less than half of what Wyatt has right now, and Robo for that matter, about the same. Their power play is 31st at 16% coming into this game against us. So you'd expect, if the Stars were through with this skid and heading into a very important game against Minnesota, that we would have won this a little bit more decisively than we did. I cannot declare here on the foil for our skid to be over yet. We're going to have to see how these next few games play out against the Minnesota Wild, and then to finish the season against Toronto, the Rangers, and the Sabres. So let's see. We need that momentum going into the playoffs. You don't want to back into the playoffs. And the other question I have from this game, we saw some errors from Tyler Myers. On one play in particular, he got absolutely pantsed. Um, Turned the wrong way a couple times there. My question is, on game 1 of the playoffs, do we expect to see Tyler Myers on the right side, or do we expect to see one of Lyubushkin or Petrovic back there? Or do they run with 7D like we've seen in this game against the Flames and in another previous game here recently? Do they run with that system? Questions that need answers. I don't think we're going to have the answers to a lot of this until we finish the season up here, so it's going to be really exciting. The Minnesota Wild were they won 5-2 over this Seattle team here last night, so we remain 2 points ahead of Minnesota with 4 games left, making this a huge game against Minnesota here coming up. The Stars, what I noticed a lot about them was their face-off prowess, especially in overtime, where we won 5 of 7 face-offs. We outshot them 10-1. Those face-offs are so important, especially in OT, when it's really hard to get puck possession back from the opposing team. I think it would have been a tougher game had they had um, a little more physicality to deal with from the Calgary Flames, who only hit for to the tune of 13 to our 19. So good for the Stars for out hitting them, but when you look at this Dallas Stars team, one of their weaknesses is if you put it on them physically. So again, we look at this win, we gotta be happy we got the win, but there's a lot of questions that you still have for this Dallas Stars team heading into the most important stretch of hockey right here, right before the playoffs. So it's going to be a very exciting end of the season for the Dallas Stars, and we're going to learn a lot here in the next 4 games. Let's talk about the scoring that the Dallas Stars did. So the Dallas Stars got their first goal of the game to go up 1-0 by Justin Ritzkovian. It starts with Ritzy winning the faceoff in the D zone, and then Harley would eventually shoot the puck high and wide. It would miss the net, and then Ritzy, aggressive on the puck, puts the bouncing rebound that came off of the glass on the doorstep. He puts it in short side, getting only a part of the puck, sending it flipping past Devin Cooley. So you look at Ritzy's season, he had a goal and no assists on the night. He's good for 27 points, 13 goals, 14 assists in 77 games played. That's good for 0.35 points per game. If you look at Bork's first full season here in Dallas last year, he had 11 goals, 14 points, 14 assists, 25 points in 73 games. Almost identical, 0.34 points per game. So what a revelation and a surprise Ritzy has been, right? And of course, Ritzy brings more of the two-way game, and he brings the pestilence, which, by the way, if you want to see the kind of pestilence that he brings, there's some videos out there of him during the recent photo shoot with the Dallas Stars chirping his own teammates, and kind of, I mean, it was made me uncomfortable watching him chirp his own teammates, Wyatt and Otter, telling Otter to keep his mask on. So if he's doing that against his own team, imagine what he's saying to the opposition. It gives you some insight. I suggest you check that out. So we had another goal we had 2 goals from Wyatt, right? Wyatt now has 43 goals on the year, 27 goals at home. That's third all time behind Ben and Robo. Ben has 29, Robo has 28. Maybe he sets another mark here this year with regard to that long shot, but maybe he can. He's got 26 power play goals. All right, so we're talking absolutely monster numbers, records that are going to be really hard to break for anybody, for the Dallas Stars in terms of the power play goals in a single season. And his 2 goals, let's talk about those. So the first one was in the third period to cut the lead in half to 3-2 for the opposition. Wyatt to Rantanen on the left side of the goalie. Rantanen accepts the pass, skate to stick, swivels, and then with a slick wraparound move and shot attempt, which he loses control over a little bit, but luckily the puck goes through the crowded crease over to Wyatt on the other side, who rips it past the goaltender on the far side from in close. Quick answer to the Perret goal, which came, I think, about a minute before that. So really important that we got that momentum going right then and there. It would be the start of 3 unanswered goals. The other goal that he would get would be the overtime winner. Rantanen loses the ozone faceoff. There's a failed cleared attempt by the Flames, and then a great blue line keep by a hustling Heiskanen to keep the puck in their zone. Heiskanen to Robo, who is skating towards him along the far wall. He does a button hook and then hits Wyatt, who's in bumper position, who accepts on the forehand, spins to the backhand, does a deke forehand to backhand after the spin, in which he faces the goalie right, and then elevates a backhander over Cooley's right pad for the game-winning goal. Gorgeous goal scorer's goal from Wyatt Johnston, who for such a slight guy is so deadly in bumper position. Usually, when you think about bumper position guys, you think about somebody like Jamie Benn, right? Mikko Rantanen. It usually takes a big guy that sticks in there, but Wyatt, you got to give him credit. He is one of the best in the league at doing that. So we would also have a goal from Robo, who tied the game. This would be the game-tying goal. Stars win a puck battle behind Otter, and then Harley comes out with it. Works it around to Myers, who hits Duchesne at the blue line. Battles past the Flame. Great effort here on the rush, and he chops a backhand pass to a wide-open Robo in the slot, who reaches and stabs it in kind of a redirect play past Cooley. Those would be the goals for the Stars on the game. The goals for the other way for Calgary would start off for Farabee tying the game at 1 in the second period. Lyubushkin failed an outlet pass, which leads to a turnover, and then they go the other way on us. Klapka shoots, rebound, and Farabee gets off a quick backhand one-timer shot past blocker, rebound high blocker. Right, typical high blocker goal against Otter. Sure seems like the book is out on him in that regard. Then Shurigangovich gets the goal to go up 2-1. Wyatt makes a turnover pass in the O-zone that barely got off his stick before it was intercepted. There's a breakout the other way, and then Klapka passes to Shuriganovich, who pulls it off the wall but in between the circles and fires on net through traffic. It hits Lyubushkin's knee. Unfortunately, he's involved in another one here, and it goes through Otter's 5-hole. Can't really fault Otter on that one very much, or Lyubushkin for that matter. Even sometimes it's just the breaks, right? But then in the third period, Perek would get the goal early in the third. This was typically would be a momentum shifting, deadly goal to be scored on. Beginning of period, ends of periods are not the kind of goals you want to give up, especially going down 2. But as they say, 2 goals is the worst lead in hockey, right? So they go up 3-1 off of off of a goal by Perek on the carryover of a power play. So the Stars lose the opening face-off. Hyry lost that face-off. I couldn't tell if he really lost. It was kind of a broken play, actually. So I don't want to say he lost it, but he didn't win it cleanly. Miro can't get to the loose puck quick enough to maintain possession. Calgary takes the O-zone and works the puck around. Shot from the top of the circles. Otter sees it, and it beats Otter glove side. This is one that you might wish you had back if you are Jake Ottinger. I know Perek is one hell of a young player, but you got to stop these. And then that would be the last goal that they would score. Otter did have some big saves in the game. One of them on Farabee. Myers gets pantsed on the rush. This is that play. Turned all the way around in the wrong direction, and Otter sticks out a quick left pad to clean up the mess behind him on Farabee, who was all alone. So big save there. But if you look at Otter, he had a .850 on the night. So we're looking at more of the same mid-8 save percentage, which is not good for the big man. Great win. The Stars go on to face the Minnesota Wild tomorrow here on the Foil. We cannot wait for that one, and y'all have a great day.